Hello, thanks for stopping by. This is another development diary that I am creating as I go along, making my Unreal Engine 4 game called From Fire. Now, the previous episode was about stun states and finishers, and I wanted to implement some kind of a camera system, so I started on doing that, and that's what I want to show off in this video here. So when we last executed these characters, the camera was very static, just staying behind their character. So what I've gone ahead now is implemented a dynamic camera of sorts. The angle is actually selected before the animation is executed, and in some cases dynamically changes, as I'll show you right now. The animations aren't really synced up together. That's a problem or a battle for another day, and then won't worry about that. It looks extremely wonky, so I get that, and it's not going to worry about it too much for now. So let's get started. So if we send him into the stun state, you will see the first execution pops the camera out into a more cinematic angle, and then pops the camera back again. So we'll do it again. Again, it does the same thing for the second execution, and pops it right back into the character. The third one is my favorite though, which uses multiple camera angles during the animation, and it just looks a lot more flashy. So I hope to refine that a bit more, add more angles, center the characters a lot more, and overall just add a bit more polish to it. The other thing I've implemented is a static camera viewpoint. The issue with a freely rotating camera is that when you go into narrow spaces, you end up with a lot of clipping. So doing smaller rooms, narrow corridors is a problem. So what I've gone ahead and implemented is more of an experimental thing at the moment. I'm going to look into it and see if it's possible, but as we approach this room here, you'll see that the camera flips to a static angle while we're in the room. Now, I don't remap the controls, as I don't know whether that's a good thing and whether players will find that frustrating, but what I find equally as frustrating is that it's hard to get your bearings if you stop controlling the character and then resume controlling the character. Whereas if the controls were remapped once you start, it's easy to carry on. But I will experiment with that. As you can see, as you leave, it will pop right back out. So into the room, changes camera angle, and when you leave, pops back into the third person view. So that's something I'm looking at, and I'll use it in rooms where making a freely rotatable camera just doesn't make sense, because we keep bashing into walls and the camera will just fight with the geometry around it. So thanks for joining me, and like, share and subscribe, all the usual things, and I look forward to bringing you another episode of this From Fire Development Diary. Thanks a lot guys, bye.